Well, Celebrity Beyond has offered up an awful lot to experience in 1 week, so we better do another update.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Terry with Next Wave Cruising,
I'm Rich with Next Wave Cruising.
and we are going to give you our next update as to all of the things we've been experiencing both on the ship as well as with our destinations on our Eastern Caribbean itinerary on our 7-night journey on the Celebrity Beyond.
Right.
And it's been great.
It has. The only problem is it's been short. It's only 7 nights, and it's really starting to
fast.
look like that. Yeah, we need longer cruises.
I think we might have to. Now, why don't we start a little bit with destinations? In our previous update, we shared with everybody that one of our first ports of call was in the Dominican Republic.
Right.
And it was so nicely done. Really great new port space, and we enjoyed getting off the ship and experiencing that. But we weren't done.
No.
We actually had the opportunity the following day to go to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And the day after that, St. Martin.
St. Martin, and this time I didn't go on the America's Cup
The
regatta,
12-meter.
the 12 meter, but I did get some video of it that I'm going to show you right here.
That's right. Now, in both cases, because we've been to these ports before and we were really enjoying the ship, we got off and we explored what was happening around the areas that are built up near the terminals, the port terminals, but we didn't go on day-long excursions this time around. We certainly have ideas we can share with you if you're thinking about heading to either St. Thomas or St. Martin, but as we're talking here, we'll give you a view of what's available to you when you walk off the ship. If you're looking for maybe some refreshments, some shopping, an opportunity to just get a sense of the local culture and the vibe of the port, there's something outside the port area at each of these stops without you having to take a taxi or an excursion. And yet you'll see there are plenty of organized excursions from the cruise ships that will take you to beaches, will take you to see the landscape of some of these beautiful mountainous areas, and of course get into the major towns to see the culture and the history of what's been built and developed there over the years. So these were great stops. I think we were fine that we didn't actually take a big excursion on either St. Thomas or St. Martin this time around. But boy, I loved looking off the ship at St. Martin in particular because the harbor area and all the boats you could see, sailboats, not only the 12 meters in the race, but just those that are moored or those that are being used privately. It's a beautiful setting.
It's a beautiful island. It really is. It's one of those islands that you do a little tour from a cruise, and you look at it and say, I think we can spend a whole week just right here.
And you definitely could go back and enjoy St. Martin for that long. So that's something to keep in mind. So all in all, our port days were fine. They were, kind of what we expected for the most part. And then we had 2 additional days at sea, which we're still doing, heading back up to Fort Lauderdale. So the days on the ship are fantastic as well. And whether we were at port or whether we were doing these sea days, we've had more chances to eat our way around the ship and try some additional specialty dining. In addition to Blue, which is our main dining as part of the Aqua class on this particular sailing, we have continued to see what else the ship has to offer. We talked in our first update about Eden, don't miss that one in our last video, and Fine Cut Steakhouse, but that was not all.
No.
So we have been eating plenty.
No, we had, I guess we went to La Voyage.
We did. And that is a brand new restaurant. It is organized, and the menus are really selected and curated by the global food ambassador that Celebrity works with, Daniel Boulud. And he's very famous for his restaurants like in New York and his travels all around the world. And there's a bit of a French influence, but representative menu items from cultures all around the world. So a very international cuisine. This is a new space that was newly decorated and created to hold Le Voyage.
You'll only find it on the Beyond at this point.
At this point, special, really elegant, very worldly looking, and I could not expect the service to be any more in lockstep and organized and just refined than what we experienced during our dinner there. That team was terrific.
They really were. When they served the whole table, we were watching, even other tables. When they served the dinner, everyone got served at the same time. If it took 3 or 4 people to bring it out, they all came out and the plates were put down all at the same time.
And the same for even picking things back up.
Mm-hmm.
A team would come out, are you all done? And the plates would go.
Right.
And meanwhile, you were having your drinks refreshed and your bread refreshed, anything you might have wanted.
Extremely attentive.
Very attentive service, very well educated about their menu,
Mm-hmm.
about ingredients and the reasons to choose some dishes and others. So really a nice way of being guided through the menu by the staff that we worked with there, and a real big shout out to them. They just do a phenomenal job. I would say not only go there for that mouth-watering food, but go there because that staff that's in La Voyage is about the best.
I think that's one thing that I noticed on this cruise is that, and I think even more so than other recent cruises that we've been on, is that the staff in the specialty restaurants just seem to be perfect for that cuisine, that restaurant. So
I guess they've been well selected, and they really seem to enjoy. And you've talked about the other night, the passion that they have
Mm-hmm.
for bringing you some of these unique menu items and wanting you to have a really delicious meal, and then it delivers. Mm-hmm. So the folks in the kitchen who we can't see are doing an equally amazing job because the food, the bread, everything just feels different and unique and a little even more upscale than all the other nice restaurants that are on the ship. So Le Voyage, if I could give it, if I had more than 2 thumbs, it would get more than 2 thumbs up. That was really, really nice. Now that also has, if you're interested, basically a pairing menu for an additional upcharge beyond the specialty restaurant upcharge, and there could be a 5-course dinner with wine pairings at each course. When they do that, they do reduce the portion size a little bit so that you actually can get your way through the 5. We did not do that because there's just no way we could eat that and drink that much.
The 3 courses that we had,
which were phenomenal. But there were people definitely enjoying that, and the sommelier is there to explain the wines and the connection of the wine to each dish and how it was selected. So if you enjoy that, this is a great restaurant to do the tasting menu, to get the 5-course meal, and to enjoy some fantastic wines. The wine selection in that restaurant is extensive. That book kept going and going and going with all the wine choices.
They had hundreds of different bottles of wine that they were able to offer. They said it was the most extensive on board, and it was pretty obvious. It
seemed like it would be. So if that's your thing, a pairing menu and wine tastings at La Voyage would be a recommendation for sure. Now that was such an elegant meal. We had, I think, probably an equally fun and delicious meal in another specialty restaurant, and that was up in the open air on the top deck at the rooftop garden grill. And what a way to just really get out under the stars and enjoy some barbecue or brisket, ribs, and side dishes that you might not see in the usual main dining rooms either. There was all kinds of fun stuff. Baked beans and mac and cheese and jalapeno, cornbread, all kinds of
It's a specialty restaurant, but it was really kind of a laid-back kind of a atmosphere. You wanted to go in your shorts, you can go in your shorts because it's outside, it's under the stars. And it was nice because we were at sea and we had a nice breeze come through, but the way they have it protected, your food isn't blowing all over.
No,
so it was really
nice. Nice job. And if you've been at a rooftop garden grill on one of the other Edge class ships, this one is a bit larger. They have a more extensive roof system, and then they have some glass panels with air coming through, so it's not enclosed totally, but those panels of glass are, as you said, mitigating any wind or breeze that you might feel being up on the top deck. So they've made some refinements to the restaurant that make it even nicer than it was before. This is another open kitchen. And that's another fun aspect of this. You can see the chefs preparing and then plating everything before it comes out to you. They work really hard up there. That was a busy night at the rooftop garden grill, but everything we had was terrific and plenty of it. I got the ribs. And I have to say, one of the things I appreciated was on the menu, I was able to choose a half a rack of ribs or a whole rack of ribs.
Mhm.
Depending on your appetite and who you are, a whole rack of ribs could be a lot. So
Yeah.
I ordered the half and a couple of sides and had plenty of food.
Right.
Now, how about you in that steak that you
Well,
ordered?
yeah, I got the T-bone steak, which was enormous. It was a little too big for me, but
How was it?
it was done perfect. It tasted perfect. Everything about it was great. And I just couldn't keep going. I really wish I could have taken it home. Maybe the captain's dog can have the leftover, but it was
Something
great.
fun, huh? So that was really a fun meal. They have some fun desserts too.
Oh yeah.
So if you're thinking, outdoor barbecue, backyard kind of food, I think there
Get
was
the
this
cookie.
Get the cookie?
Get the cookie.
like
Yeah.
the campfire cookie. And then there's also a s'mores based
Right.
dessert as well as cobbler and some other
Sure.
choices. So again, a lot of fun.
Yep.
Very relaxing evening, and I would recommend that, and I'd do it again.
Oh yeah, I'm going to do that again. Absolutely.
Now, there is one additional specialty restaurant that we've had the opportunity to experience here on Celebrity Beyond. We actually switched it up and did it for lunch.
Right.
Now, this is one that you tend to seek out on all the different ships,
Right.
and that is a sushi Asian sort of style restaurant.
And most
This one is Raw on 5.
Right. Most cruise lines now have some type of a sushi restaurant, and Ron 5 is right here on Celebrity Beyond. And again, the food was very good.
It was really good. I had some of the nicest. I had like a chicken dumplings,
Mhm.
very nice with the Asian sauce. I had a really fun specialty cocktail that
Right.
was just delicious. The atmosphere is beautiful. I had chicken teriyaki. You went the other way and you
Right.
actually enjoyed some sushi, didn't
Well,
you?
you see, that's the good thing about Raw on 5 on the Edge class ships, at least, is that they have a menu that even if somebody like yourself that is not going to touch anything sushi related, there's still plenty of items on the menu that you can choose. It's not like, okay, I can have the chicken breast. There's
There
other
were
stuff.
choices. I had
There
to
was
make
choices.
a decision about what to get. And again, I had plenty of food.
Right.
This tends to be an a la carte restaurant. So you can order, one thing at a time and piece together a meal that makes sense for you with
Right.
starters, entrees, and desserts.
Mhm.
And even again, when it came to dessert, there was just not a whole lot of places for me to think about
Right.
tucking more food.
Mhm.
But we did try their sorbet.
They did, and
and it's very unique.
it was
It was delicious.
the first bite or two was like, whoa, what is this? But then after your palate got used to the tartness, I guess is what it was.
It was a more citrus based.
Citrus.
Yeah, and it was delicious. So, well, if you ever enjoyed a lemon ice or something that does have that more citrusy kind of a tartness, or it's just not overly sweet,
Right.
it's really delicious and it's good for cleansing the palate.
Right.
It's a really nice way to end a meal at Raw on 5. Well, going there for lunch, I have to say, I think we were there a little bit longer than I thought we would be.
We were. I didn't think that the service was up to the same level as it was in the other restaurants.
That could be. I mean, everybody was very pleasant.
Mhm.
They knew their stuff. It just was either the staffing level or the pace at which people came in and the amount of time it takes to prepare each dish for you. There were definitely some lags between sitting down and getting an order taken, then a little bit more of a lag to get an appetizer,
Right.
that sort of thing. So everything was just paced in a way that, especially for lunch, I thought might have been something that could be refined. So if you're going to go at current staffing levels, just be aware it might be a little bit of a
Now,
longer stay, but it was really good food. I
Now,
would go.
I would go, but I know that when you're making sushi and you're making it to order, that can't be rushed.
Right.
And so it wasn't the amount of time after ordering that we got our food. It was the amount of time to take the order. We shouldn't have had to sit there so long to be able to take the order.
Well, there you go. And I think the same thing, like when you need to come back and get an order for dessert,
Right.
that kind of the timing was
Mhm.
just a little bit lax, and it was probably because everybody was flat out busy doing what they were doing, but
Right.
to cover everyone took some time.
Mhm.
So that's just something to be aware of. But overall, our specialty dining experiences on Celebrity Beyond have been really, really worth it. And I'm so glad that we took the opportunity to try out all of the different specialty restaurant venues on the ship. The one we haven't talked about because we've done it so many times, but is still offered here if you're interested, and it's quite good, is Le Cuisine, which is showing Le Petit Chef.
Mhm.
And at Cuisine, you will have a projection system that is bringing you little vignettes on your plate through animation.
Mhm.
And then your meal is going to be served really paired up with the way that the whole vignette plays out to prepare the meal in animation. You'll get it in real life. It is a fun experience, not to be missed, only on celebrity ships that I'm aware of. And it's really a lot of fun. But again, because we've done it so recently and so many times, we just wanted to go check out some of these other venues that we haven't had as much
Right.
opportunity. And
Absolutely.
it was a good balance. So as we have been here on the ship, the other thing that has been really terrific is that we've had a chance to visit in the theater and see some nice shows. You'll also have opportunities, in addition to the theater productions, to see magicians or comedians, etc. There have been some great acts back in Eden. Even
Mhm.
beyond
Oh,
having
yeah.
dinner there are evening performances. And then down in the Grand Plaza, whether it is the light show or the bartenders with their flair bartending, or all of the different musical groups that are performing down in the Grand Plaza or up in other venues around the ship, in the club, out at the Sunset Bar, etc. There is an awful lot to see, to experience, to do, parties and activities, regardless of what you want to do, or just sit back and chill. And there's nothing wrong with that either. So it's been, as you said, a kind of fast-paced week.
It
Even though
has.
we slowed down in a lot of ways, it was relaxing, but 7 days has just gone by.
It has. And
We better get back on.
really just, hardly enough time to be able to gather up all of this to be able to share it with you.
But we're glad we have. And if you found something useful in this, and if you're looking forward to the beyond, let's give this episode a thumbs up, please. And if you haven't already, we'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. And when you do subscribe, please turn on notifications. That'll make sure that you're aware every time we post a new episode to the channel, which we will be continuing to do as we are heading back out for some further cruises coming up really soon. But in the meantime, before you leave, I have another video for you to watch up in the corner over here, and I'll meet you over there.